Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 7. She wore many professional hats. That woman got to the bag. That fan's tribute to Kadia, KD Lewis says it all. A powerhouse of ambition and drive, KD carved space for herself in business long before she stepped into television. But once she did, she lit up the screen just as boldly as she did the boardroom. She first appeared to many viewers on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, not just as Young Jock's assistant, but as the woman who knew how to manage, sell, lead, and shine. Her role quickly grew, and so did her fan base. But long before reality TV, KD built a resume most could only dream of. She was a consultant, accountant, speaker, and founder of multiple businesses. Real estate, financial services, branding, she did it all. Born in Oklahoma City and educated at Florida A&M and later at Georgia State, KD brought both brains and heart into every room she entered. With more than 147,000 followers on Instagram, she didn't just promote a lifestyle, she shared her values: hustle, independence, and confidence. Her sudden passing at 44 has left family, friends, and fans in deep sorrow. The cause, though not disclosed, has not stopped the wave of love pouring in. Her brother Jamal expressed his heartbreak, thanking those offering prayers and kind thoughts. Another brother, Elijah, shared, "You left behind a legacy most individuals can only dream of. God blessed me when he made me your baby brother." Former co-star Sina Bina posted, "Rest in peace, Queen." And fans have echoed the same online, remembering her strength, beauty, and presence. Kadia's story was one of growth, grace, and unapologetic ambition. Whether showing homes or speaking to audiences, she always left a mark. Her legacy reaches beyond TV moments. It lives in every life she uplifted and every goal she crushed. Though gone too soon, the impression she left remains powerful and lasting. Tributes to Kadia, KD Lewis. Number 6. We couldn't believe he wasn't a trained actor, Vittorio De Sica once said. He walked into the frame and gave us the heart of the film. Enzo Staiola, forever remembered as young Bruno from the cinematic landmark Bicycle Thieves, has passed away at the age of 85. He died peacefully, following a brief illness. Discovered as a young boy walking the streets of post-war Rome, Staiola was just 7 when De Sica cast him in a role that would shape film history. Without any formal experience, the child brought haunting honesty and innocence to the screen, helping define Italian neorealism for generations to come. That performance captivated audiences around the world. His wide eyes and unwavering loyalty to his struggling father made Bruno an unforgettable figure. It wasn't just acting, it was truth. After Bicycle Thieves, Enzo appeared in several films, sharing the screen with legends like Humphrey Bogart in The Barefoot Contessa. He brought the same quiet sincerity to each role, whether in intimate Italian dramas or large international productions. Yet his life took a different path in adulthood. Leaving behind the cinematic world, Enzo chose to become a mathematics teacher. In classrooms instead of film sets, he guided and encouraged young minds. Friends and students remembered him as kind, thoughtful, and deeply committed. He was a family man as well, raising a child with his beloved wife Anna, who passed before him. Those who knew him say he carried his early fame with humility, never boastful, always gracious. Enzo's legacy lies in more than a single film. It lives on through those touched by his teaching, those inspired by his performance, and those who still sit down decades later to watch a small boy follow his father through Rome in search of a stolen bicycle. Film scholar Marco Rossi noted, Enzo Staiola helped change how we see children in film. When he looked into the camera, he was not acting, he was being, and that changed everything. He may have spoken few words on screen, but his presence spoke volumes. Tributes to Enzo Staiola. Number 5. Her light and her legacy will continue to live on. Those were the words shared by the Concurso Nacional de Belleza as news broke of Maria Lorena Arguello's sudden passing. At only 28, her vibrant journey came to a close, but her spirit remains in the hearts of many. Maria Lorena wasn't just admired, she was deeply respected. Whether in the operating room or on the pageant stage, she brought grace, purpose, and compassion to every role she held. A trained surgeon, she earned her degree from Universidad de las Americas with relentless dedication. Her work went beyond the hospital walls. Volunteering with the Reina de Quito Foundation, she gave her time to help those most in need. Her kindness made a lasting impact on every life she touched. The beauty world knew her as a finalist in Miss Universe Ecuador 2024, where she proudly represented Quito. Her elegance was matched by her humility. She stood out not only for her poise, but for her passion in showing that beauty and brains are not mutually exclusive. She redefined what it means to be a role model. Maria Topic, crowned Miss Universe Ecuador, spoke through tears. Today, heaven received a beautiful soul. My heart mourns your passing, but I trust that God holds you in his arms. Nadia Mejia, a fellow contestant and Miss California 2016, called her one of the kindest people I've ever met. She added, she always supported others and lifted them up with her light. Her passing, confirmed by the CNB on their official platform, has left Ecuador and the wider community in deep mourning. The cause of death has not been shared publicly, but the respect for her family's privacy has been overwhelming. Maria Lorena Arguello will be remembered as a symbol of strength through service and elegance with purpose. Her legacy will live in the patients she healed, the people she served, and the women she inspired to lead with both heart and confidence. Tributes to Maria Lorena Arguello. Number 4. Jason believed the best stories dared to take risks, and so did he. That's why filmmakers trusted him. He was one of us. A quiet force behind some of the most groundbreaking films in modern cinema, Jason Constantine leaves behind a legacy defined by courage, creativity, and a deep love for storytelling. Over a remarkable 25-year journey in film, Jason's influence shaped cultural touchstones. He championed the Saw franchise from a short film concept, saw the promise in John Wick before it became a global phenomenon, and helped guide titles like Crash, Precious, and Knives Out to both acclaim and audience love. As co-president of the Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, Jason didn't just lead. He built lasting relationships, mentored new voices, and listened to everyone in the room. Those who worked alongside him knew his generosity, humility, and steady belief in the power of stories told boldly. His vision was never about chasing trends. It was about trusting instincts, discovering fresh talent, and pushing the boundaries of what films could say and do. He believed great ideas could come from anywhere, and that success meant sharing credit with the entire team. In addition to his work in film, Jason gave back with his time, speaking to students, mentoring future filmmakers, staying connected to his roots at Princeton, and embracing the next generation with openness and care. After a long and private battle with cancer, Jason passed away at 55. The film community, and countless friends across the world, are feeling his absence deeply. Lionsgate called him the very best of our studio and our industry, and that sentiment echoes across the people whose lives he touched. Above all, Jason Constantine was a loving husband to Kristen, and a proud father to Lucas, Xander, and Nicholas. His warmth, laughter, and commitment to those he loved will be remembered just as vividly as his professional passion. His life was one of purpose, driven by stories, and we're all better because of them. Tributes to Jason Constantine. Number 3. Reach for the stars, not because you need to leave Earth, but because it teaches you how to live better on it. Those were the words Marc Garneau once spoke to a classroom of students. A dreamer, a doer, and a servant of his country, Marc carried those words through an extraordinary life that inspired millions. He passed away at 76 in Montreal, following a brief illness, leaving behind a legacy that touched space, science, and the soul of a nation. As the first Canadian to travel to space, Marc made history. His first mission in 1984 was not just a personal milestone, it was a national moment of pride. He went on to complete 2 more space flights, spending hundreds of hours in orbit, conducting essential research and helping lay foundations for the International Space Station. Before his flights beyond Earth, Marc served as a naval officer and engineer, demonstrating his quiet dedication and analytical mind. Later, as head of the Canadian Space Agency, he championed innovation and education in a new era of exploration. Politics came calling, and Marc answered with the same sense of duty. Elected to Parliament in 2008, he held positions as Minister of Transport and Minister of Foreign Affairs. In these roles, he brought the same steadiness and vision he carried as an astronaut, guiding Canada through complex issues with grace and resolve. But what set Marc apart wasn't just what he did, it was how he carried himself. Humble, thoughtful, quick with encouragement, always ready to explain science to a curious child or listen intently to a concerned citizen. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said it best. Marc Garneau inspired generations of Canadians to reach for the stars and brought honor to our country through his service and integrity. His honors were many: Companion of the Order of Canada, NASA medals, esteemed memberships in aviation halls of fame. But Marc's greatest legacy may be the people he mentored and inspired, the future astronauts, engineers, and leaders who saw what was possible through him. He is survived by his family, who knew him not as a hero, but as a loving father and husband. Canada has lost a guiding star. Tributes to Marc Garneau. Number 2, true leadership, someone once said, is not about always doing what is popular, but about doing what you believe is right for your people. For Edgar Lungu, this belief guided a life lived on the highest stage of public service. Edgar Lungu passed away at the age of 68, after complications from surgery while under medical care in South Africa. His death was confirmed by his daughter, Tasila Lungu Mwansa. Born in the heart of Zambia's Copperbelt, Lungu began his journey in law before stepping into the world of politics. He built a reputation as a thoughtful lawyer with a calm presence. That same resolve later defined his rise to national leadership. He first took on significant roles as Minister of Justice and Minister of Defense, but it was in 2015, following the death of President Michael Sata, that Lungu gained global attention. Winning the presidency after a tightly contested by-election, he went on to serve a full term starting in 2016. During his time in office, Lungu helped pass constitutional reforms that shifted powers from the presidency and emphasized government transparency. Though later criticized for trying to roll some changes back, his initial reforms were hailed as bold steps in a young democracy. Supporters often praised his ability to connect across Zambia's social and tribal divides. He was seen visiting rural communities, responding to everyday concerns, and urging political unity. Critics, however, pointed to rising political pressure against opponents and strained relations with international partners during his term. Still, many Zambians credit him with expanding opportunities for the country's poor and striking a rare balance between assertiveness and accessibility. After his electoral defeat in 2021, he stepped away from office, but not from the national conversation. Even after his failed bid to return in 2026, he remained a name that drew attention and debate. He will be remembered for tolerating thuggery by his supporters, said analyst Lee Habasanda, although he also represented a brand of politicians who interacted across class. Lungu leaves behind his daughter Tasila and a nation that both mourns and remembers. A leader whose story mirrored the hopes and challenges of modern Zambia. Tributes to Edgar Lungu. What's trending on the internet? News 1. Jazz Jennings, the 24-year-old star of TLC's I Am Jazz, has been turning heads with her remarkable health transformation. Just yesterday, on June 4th, Jazz shared new selfies on Instagram showcasing her dramatic 100-pound weight loss, leaving many fans barely recognizing the reality TV personality. The Harvard student, who has been documenting her health journey over the past 2 years, posted a series of photos featuring herself with a side braid, white tank top, and winged eyeliner that had followers flooding her comments with praise and support. "You got so thin I didn't recognize you," one fan commented, while others called her stunning and congratulated her on the impressive achievement. Jazz began her transformation back in 2023, sharing her struggles with binge eating disorder and committing to a healthier lifestyle. In August 2024, she posted an inspirational video showing her progress, from struggling to catch her breath during workouts 2 years ago to running with ease today. Her family has been her biggest cheerleaders throughout this journey. Her mother Jeanette commented, "So proud of you. I love you so much," while her brother Sander dedicated a heartfelt post celebrating how Jazz has continued to challenge herself both physically and mentally. What makes Jazz's story particularly inspiring is her perspective on wellness. "Good health is not a certificate you display. It is a constant effort," she wrote, adding that she still has goals to achieve but feels more motivated and inspired than she has in years. As Jazz prepares to complete her final semester at Harvard, her transformation stands as a testament to dedication, perseverance, and the power of family support during personal health journeys. News 2. Elizabeth Smart, who survived a horrifying kidnapping ordeal in 2002, is speaking out after one of her captors was recently arrested for parole violations. At just 14 years old, Smart was taken from her bedroom in Salt Lake City and held captive for 9 months before being found and rescued. Now a mother of 3 children who have brought her so much happiness and joy, Smart continues to advocate for survivors of abuse while raising her family. She recently addressed the May 2025 arrest of Wanda Barzee, one of her kidnappers, who violated her sex offender parole by visiting Liberty Park in Salt Lake City. In a video posted to her Instagram, Smart expressed her concerns about Barzee's justification for visiting the park, saying, "Her justification was that she was commanded by the Lord, which unfortunately is very familiar to me and is probably the most concerning thing, because that's how they justified kidnapping me." Smart thanked the Salt Lake City police for their quick response and emphasized the importance of taking parole violations seriously to protect survivors. While Brian David Mitchell, her other captor, continues to serve a life sentence, Smart remains vigilant about her safety and the safety of others. In the years since her rescue, Smart has become an influential advocate, creating the Elizabeth Smart Foundation and recently launching educational initiatives to help prevent abuse. Her story continues to inspire many as she transforms her traumatic experience into a mission to help others, proving that even after unimaginable hardship, it's possible to build a meaningful life filled with purpose and joy. News 3. The entertainment world is mourning the loss of Kobe Fawkes, an Australian content creator and performer who passed away on May 28, 2025 at the age of 42. Born Anthony Cox in Cloncurry, Queensland, Fawkes had built a following through his online presence and performances. Fawkes, who was born on September 7, 1982, made his mark in the digital content space, collaborating with his partner Sam Brownell, who is also a content creator. The couple had been living together in Australia until Fawkes' untimely passing in Melbourne, Victoria. News of his passing began circulating on June 2nd after social media posts from those close to him shared the sad update. While the cause has not been publicly disclosed, friends and fans alike have been sharing memories and messages of support online. Throughout his career, Fawkes connected with audiences through his authentic personality and creative work. His presence on various platforms allowed him to build a community of supporters who appreciated his contributions to entertainment. Kobe Fawkes will be remembered for his charismatic personality and the positive connections he made with his audience. His legacy lives on through his work and the memories shared by those who knew him personally and followed his career. Our thoughts go out to his partner Sam, his family, and all those affected by this loss. News 4. Here's something truly inspiring out of the world of sports broadcasting. Jay Harris, the beloved 60-year-old ESPN SportsCenter anchor, has openly shared his diagnosis of prostate cancer. Jay made the announcement in a heartfelt interview on Good Morning America, letting everyone know that he's scheduled for surgery next week and is planning to take about a month away from SportsCenter to recover, before coming back, as he says, better than ever. Jay's outlook is incredibly positive. Doctors are optimistic about his prognosis, and scans show that the cancer hasn't spread. What makes Jay's story extra special is how he's using his own journey to encourage others, especially men, to get regular health checkups and talk openly with their doctors and loved ones. He's leaned on the support of family, friends, and colleagues, and now he's reaching out to help others feel less alone too. With a career spanning more than 2 decades, Jay Harris is known not just for his steady voice and sports knowledge, but for his kindness and authenticity. As he takes this next step, the sports world, and so many fans, are cheering him on. We look forward to seeing Jay back on our screens soon, and we'll remember his courage in starting important conversations about health and hope. News 5. It's a heartbreaking moment for fans of 16 and Pregnant, as Whitney Purvis is mourning the sudden loss of her son Weston, who passed away at just 16 years old earlier this week. Whitney, who first shared her journey of young motherhood with the world back in 2009, has spoken candidly about her grief, expressing the unimaginable pain of saying goodbye to her firstborn. Weston was found unresponsive early Monday morning, and while the family is still awaiting answers, they shared that Weston had been bravely managing some health challenges, including diabetes. Whitney has described Weston as her heart, and expressed how proud she was of the young man he was becoming. In the midst of this great loss, Whitney is taking time to grieve privately, holding close the precious memories and the deep love she has for her son. Let's send our thoughts and support to Whitney and her family during this incredibly difficult time. Weston will be remembered for the love he brought to his family and the light he shared in his short life. News 6. Fans of the beloved sitcom Cheers have received closure today as the cause of George Wendt's death has been revealed. the actor who famously portrayed Norm Peterson in all 275 episodes of the iconic series, passed away on May 20th at the age of 76. According to a death certificate from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, Went died from cardiac arrest. The document also listed several underlying causes including congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease, and hypertension. Additionally, end-stage renal disease and high cholesterol were noted as significant contributing conditions. Went, who earned 6 consecutive Emmy nominations for his role as the beloved bar regular on Cheers, died peacefully in his sleep at his home. His family remembered him as a doting family man, a well-loved friend and confidant to all of those lucky enough to have known him. Born in Chicago as one of 9 children, Went's career included numerous film roles in movies like Airplane 2, the sequel, Fletch, and The Little Rascals. Before landing his iconic role on Cheers, he appeared in shows like Taxi, Soap, and Mosh. Former co-star Ted Danson beautifully summed up Went's impact, saying, "He was a true craftsman, humble, hilarious, and full of heart. What you saw on screen was exactly who he was off-screen, with impeccable comedic timing and a deep loyalty to those he loved." Went's legacy lives on through his unforgettable performances that continue to bring joy to audiences around the world. News 7. Tom Hanks is speaking out with warmth and honesty after his daughter, E.A. Hanks, released her powerful new memoir, The 10, a memoir of family and the open road. Elizabeth Ann Hanks, now 42, bravely shares her journey growing up as the daughter of Tom Hanks and the late Samantha Lewis, recounting both the loving and the difficult times she experienced, especially following her parents' divorce in 1987. E.A. describes her childhood years spent in Sacramento with her mother as challenging, marked by confusion and hardship, but also moments of love and growth. When speaking about his daughter's revelations, Tom Hanks, now 68, expressed deep support and admiration, saying that he's not surprised by her courage and honesty, and that everyone carries their own checkered, cracked lives. This heartfelt family story reminds us all that even behind the most familiar faces are journeys filled with strength, healing, and resilience. Tom Hanks and his daughter are showing the world how honest conversations can lead to understanding and hope, inspiring others to embrace their own stories with compassion and courage. Number 1. The task of prophetic ministry is to nurture, nourish, and evoke a consciousness and perception alternative to the dominant culture. These words capture the heart of Walter Brueggemann, a voice that challenged, stirred, and awakened generations to think differently about faith and justice. Walter Brueggemann passed away peacefully at 92, surrounded by loved ones. His death marks the end of a powerful era in theological scholarship, but his impact remains alive in the countless communities shaped by his voice. Known for his sharp insight, poetic language, and deep compassion, Brueggemann authored more than 100 books. His works, including the prophetic imagination and theology of the Old Testament, changed the way many understood Scripture, calling us to question comfort, speak truth, and embrace the mystery of God. From small-town Nebraska to classrooms and pulpits around the world, Walter's journey was long, faithful, and filled with purpose. He began teaching in the early 60s and eventually served as professor at Columbia Theological Seminary, where students still remember his deep humility and fierce intellect. He believed in the power of words to both confront and comfort. He wrote not to impress, but to illuminate. He reminded us that the Bible is not a relic, but a living, breathing testimony to God's justice and mercy. His messages often urged churches to resist the pull of consumerism and fear, urging instead a deep connection to the prophetic tradition, one that looked after the poor, questioned power, and offered hope in hard places. His influence reached far beyond the classroom. Many pastors, scholars, and social justice leaders credit their vision and courage to his writings. Dr. Breonis Mitchell reflected, "How he impacted my preaching, theology, and doctrine are without question. What a gift he was to the ongoing fight for equality and justice." Walter is survived by his wife Tia, his sons James and John, and their families. Though he departed from this world, his words will continue to speak, comforting the weary, challenging the powerful, and giving life to a more just imagination of the Church. Tributes to Walter Brueggemann. I have only sung love songs, and I know what I have given people. These words from Nicole Croisil reflect a life lived through music, emotion, and connection.